Hello, I'm here today to show you the flip-flop die, and this is actually flip-flop 2. Flip-flop 1 is a straight layered die, and I loaned it to a friend, so I don't have mine here. I'm too cheap to open another one. This is the straight flip-flop with the doggone dog stamps and dies. This is flip-flop 2, and it matches Labels 18 from Spellbinders, which I think they retired. So, I want to just show you basically how it works. So flip-flop 2, you're going to get the die, you're going to get these 2 layers, and I'll show you where those go, and then you're going to get the alignment tool. You can do a lot of different cards with this die. I'm just going to show you some basics in this basic cut and fold. So in the back of your packaging, it's going to tell you to cut your paper to 5.5 by 6 3/4. And then you're going to need some sort of repositionable tape on the die. You're going to place the alignment tool to either the right or the left side, depending on if you're right or left-handed. Alright, and so we're going to just line that up with the edge. You're going to bump the die up against the alignment tool, and then you're just going to center it top to bottom, and I just kind of take my nail and make sure that it's straight across the bottom. And then you will tape that into place. Okay, and I am going to show you with cutting action, so I will make noise. Let me open my machine, and then here are our plates. Again, I'm working in a very small area, so I apologize I don't have everything exactly at hand. Alright, so we're going to place that on, and we are going to run that through. And before it goes all the way through, I stop it, I reverse it, and I bring it back to my side. This does 2 things for me. It enables me to return it to my side of the table, and then it also enables me to have more space, and it cuts it for certain. Alright, so we're going to pop this off. Now what I like to do is I like to tape my guide back to my die. This does 2 things. It keeps me from losing this clear guide. It is 1.28 inches, which is very, very hard to manage that in a cardstock piece if you're trying to replace it. And then it recycles my tape so that I can use it again later. And then now we have our flip-flop 2 cut. Very simple. You start with your right side here, and you are going to fold that over and crease, flip, fold it over, and crease it. It does cut and score, so you now have a flip-flop 2. Okay, and I know that that's white, so it's kind of hard to see. So these 2 dies are made to go here. I always said when it's open on the middle, on the inside, it matches Labels 18 from Spellbinders, and you can use their dies if they still have them being made to layer inside. Otherwise, these 2 are what I call a squashed Labels 18, and they fit on the outside here. Now, if you can't find Labels 18 anymore, you can also use these on the inside, and they do make really cute little layers. So again, I'll just show you the finished one. It's from a long time ago. I used 1 layer, the peace and the dove dies, and then the nativity, and the nativity fits across the inside, and I just used a scissor to trim these little bumps off of the die so that it would fit in the middle, and I did emboss the whole card while it was folded all the way through in an embossing folder, which is another technique you'll see that I do. So it's the exact same thing for this one. The only difference is the die is a rectangle shape, square shape here. You would bump it up against the guide the same way. So this is a basic cut and fold, but I do want to show you something else you can do quickly here with this. So we're going to peel off our guide. So this is a 5.5 by 8.5. I didn't cut it down to 6 3/4. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump this again up against the guide. You see I didn't get my paper cut exactly perfectly. That's why I always line it to the bottom there, and I could trim away extra if I want. Okay, and again, you pop this open, make some noise. Okay. have to go until you get past the edge of the die and you can kind of hear it snap, and then you know that you've cut it all the way, and then you can reverse it back towards you. If you do go too far and you go past it and the die's not taped, something else that you might be cutting, you can move the die or shift the die, so just be careful when you do that. Alright, so we'll line it up and tape it down. Okay. So now we have this extra space over here on the cut, and we're 5.5. When we fold this over, and I didn't cut straight, so it's alright, I just trim mine off after I'm all done. Alright, so now we have, let's see, this is 5.5 by 6. So what I'm going to do, first I'm going to trim it so that it's straight, and I know you can't see this with my trimmer. I just am leaving it folded and running the edge through my trimmer. I will do a video and show you my trimmer because it's amazing. So what I did is I left it folded like this, and then I just trimmed off here and here so that they were straight with each other. Okay, so now I'm 5.5, but I'm 6 wide. So I'm going to rotate it this way into my cutter, and I'm going to cut it off here to make the entire width 5.5. So now, if you are a square card maker, I have a 5.5 by 5.5 flip-flop 2 card. So I may want to have more foliage or corner stamps or some such thing here. Unfortunately, I do spend more time thinking out how to use the dies and designing the dies than actually making really beautiful samples, and I'm going to work on that, but I still haven't been able to clone myself, so I don't know how that's going to go. But this is now a 5.5 by 5.5. Now, I could take this down and make it a 5 by 5. I know that's a standard envelope, but what I need to do is I need to take it off equally. So I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off the top, and I'm going to then turn it and take 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. And here's the thing that you need to know. So I've shortened it top to bottom here. So now this is 5 inches. Okay, this is still 5.5. But I have to be careful. If I cut from this side, I can make it too short so that this bumps out past it. So I need to make sure I'm taking my 1/2 inch off this side. So I'm rotating it this way for my cutter. The way I cut is kind of left-handed. I'm going to move this over to 5 inches. Okay, so now I have a 5 by 5 square. If I started with a taller piece of cardstock, say 6 inches, by the 8.5, I could end up with a 6 by 6 card by trimming it down. And you can do that a couple of ways. You'll see here, now my die, if I get my tape to go up, now my die fits back in there, and you can see it's about 1/4 of an inch difference top and bottom. And it's so much easier to trim away that extra strip of paper, to me anyways, than to try to get it equal top to bottom. But you could always move your die up. So maybe you have your window more to the top of your card and you leave more at the bottom. The cool thing about the fact that I designed this die to be functional in multiple ways is that it doesn't cut the outside and the inside at the same time. It only does something to the inside of the paper, so you can play with it and you can manipulate it in different ways, and you can end up with all different cards all from the one die. So I do actually have a set of stamps as well. I don't have them out here to show you, but they are online. I'll link to them in the video, and they're simple sentiment stamps, and I did make a stamp frame that matches this top shape here. So when your card is closed, there's actually a stamp that you can just quickly stamp inside here, and then put your saying, your flowers, your decoration, whatnot on there. I will do an additional video that shows you how to add extra layers for these as well, but this is just a basic cut and fold video. So better do my job here and get my alignment tool taped down. Alright, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and look for additional videos with the Flip Flop and Flip Flop 2 coming soon. Have a great day.